From the gibbon's sun-drenched tropical island to the frozen border with Russia, eastern China is a hugely diverse region. From low-lying fertile land to vast megacities, over 500 million people call this region home. Yet, despite the human and economic pressures, nature has been given space to breathe in 4 critically important national parks. In its chilly northeast, on the border with Russia and North Korea, Northeast China Tiger and Leopard National Park has been created to protect some powerful predators. But one of its fiercest creatures is also one of its smallest. A chipmunk. He's made his home among almost 15,000 square kilometers of towering trees. It's one of China's biggest forests. Autumn is a busy time of year. He's in a race to fatten up and store food for the long winter ahead. A pine cone provides the ultimate takeaway. The chipmunk's long front teeth and needle-sharp claws make quick work of extracting dozens of energy-rich pine nuts. His cheek pouches stretch to 3 times the width of his head, acting like shopping bags to cart his precious hoard home. To survive the harsh winter, he'll need around 4 kilograms of nuts, which means more than 80 foraging trips. His striped coat camouflages him from hawks and foxes. But it's no defense against his most bitter enemies, nut-stealing bandits. Three of them form an ambush. The feisty male must fight or he'll lose everything. Eventually, the thieves turn tail and flee. But one of the villains is back, and he spied the secret hideout. Who says crime doesn't pay? But the thief has stayed too long. For the young male, keeping the bandits at bay will be a full-time job. Chipmunks are not the only harvesters of the park's pine cones. Locals come in search of the same nuts. And they too will risk life and limb to get them. Armed with traditional spikes lashed to the feet, They scale trees of more than 20 meters. China is one of the world's biggest producers of pine nuts. But here in the park, harvesters are encouraged to leave plenty of cones for the forest's wildlife. Safeguarding a staple of its ecosystem. Welcome news for our hungry chipmunk. Winter transforms the park. Temperatures plummet to 40 below zero. Deer and wild boar struggle to scratch a living, but they need to stay alert. An apex predator stalks this forest. The Siberian tiger, the largest cat on Earth. Revered in Chinese culture for its power, it is known as the King of Kings. At its peak, a population of 4,000 roamed these forests. Today, it's believed just 37 remain. The national park was established to preserve this iconic creature and the ecosystem that supports it. The challenge is huge. Logging and settlements have destroyed 90% of the tiger's habitat. 3 of every 10 trees felled in China used to come from these forests. And now, the last of the Siberian tigers are being stalked. These biologists are part of an international effort to increase the number of wild tigers. But studying the movements and habits of such a rare creature means scientists Gu Jiaying must rely on footprints and scent markings.
像研究这种陆地上，尤其是在森林里的这些野生动物，从事这个领域的科学家，在中国一般都看不到它。
So, a high-tech solution has been deployed. A network of 4,000 cameras stakes out the forest. This 24-hour Tiger TV captures many of the park's shyest residents, including the most elusive of them all. The one thing that's become clear is that the tigers will need more food. Snares set by local hunters to catch deer and boar have robbed them of their prey. So rangers patrol the forests and peaks, finding and removing them. Hunting has been a way of life here for millennia. As the Chinese say, live by the mountain, eat from the mountain. Now, deer and boar numbers are recovering, bringing the hope that the park could support more tigers. But food is only part of the story. A single female needs up to 450 square kilometers if she is to breed successfully. Which means that although this is China's second biggest park, space is still at a premium. The solution is an ambitious tiger corridor being created along the China-Russia border to connect fragmented habitats and to entice some of Russia's 500 tigers to cross from Siberia into China. Promisingly, cameras reveal that tigers are regularly crossing between the two countries, one of them with cubs.
这个应该是没有什么可以质疑的，而且从整个东北虎种群是在增加的过程中，中国也是，俄罗斯也是。
It's hoped that the creation of this 15,000 square kilometer national park will offer this most sensitive of apex predators a real chance of a comeback. The challenge of balancing the needs of wildlife with the impact of the human population is a constant struggle, but one that has to be tackled in one of the most populated regions on Earth. 1,500 kilometers south is China's greatest metropolis, Shanghai. Home to 25 million people, an ultra-modern urban jungle. Yet just a few hours from this pulsing neon megacity is an oasis of calm. Zhenjiangyuan National Park. At just 252 square kilometers, it's China's smallest national park. But its influence is huge. The mighty Chentong River rises here. As it snakes 500 kilometers to the East China Sea, it feeds rich forest ecosystems. And the crystal-clear river provides drinking water for 16 million people. Along its banks within the national park are 72 villages. Here, centuries of tradition are built around a respect for nature. Village elder Wu Juhua has been cultivating rice and cereal seedlings for an important event. Today is Bao Miao, an annual festival that originated around 700 years ago. Wu seedlings represent the village's key crops and will be blessed as part of a ritual to safeguard the harvest. There's much at stake. The growing plants attract hungry wildlife. The villagers get together to pray for the protection of the crops. Martial arts symbolically ward off hungry bears and wild boars. As do the beating of drums. But over the years, the festival has evolved along with local attitudes. Now, wildlife is seen as part of a balanced ecosystem. It too is celebrated as integral to a healthy harvest.
这一定那个全番薯啊，种这种菇啊，多呀就不一样的。
In U's house, swallows even nest above the dinner table. Making space for nature has helped Zhenjiangyuan's forests blossom into a treasure trove of biodiversity. With trees and plants that have long disappeared elsewhere in China, it holds the key for restoring other lost habitats. The Qianjiang River has 42 different species of fish, including the bar-cheeked goby. He thrives in these fast-flowing streams, thanks to a belly and fins loaded with suckers to anchor him down. This will be his last meal for a long time. He's digging a love nest. A female is tempted over. Once she's inside, she'll lay thousands of eggs. But now, things get deadly serious for the father. Because the stream is full of cannibals. Guarding his young will be the fight of his life. The plucky father won't eat or sleep until his young safely hatch in 2 weeks. And tranquility returns to these pristine streams. Zhenjiangyuan National Park exemplifies how people can choose to live sustainably with nature. 1,500 kilometers away, at China's most southerly point, is the Hainan Tropical Rainforest National Park. Here, nature needs a helping hand to cope with a rapidly changing human world. In the heart of the island, among its volcanic peaks, is a rare and precious Chinese tropical rainforest. Just 3,000 square kilometers of protected trees remain, making it one of the most important areas of biodiversity in all of China. It contains almost 10% of the country's amphibian species and over 20% of its reptiles. Add to that 3,500 species of plant, including carnivorous pitcher plants that tempt insects into traps of deadly digestive liquid. Forest insects are also abundant, accounting for 1/10 of all known insect species in China. But the park's rarest and most important species is the Hainan gibbon, including the teenage male and his small family. His mother is easy to spot. Female Hainan gibbons have golden brown fur. Her babies are born matching, but males turn black. Gibbons have a laryngeal sac that allows them to sing elaborate notes. The forest seems to echo their call, but this is not an echo. It is a duet between his parents. Gibbons mate for life, and this song cements their bond. But since the arrival of his little brother, things must change for the teenager. It's time for him to leave home and start looking for a mate. But he's got a problem. The ancient forest where all 33 of his species live is broken into small pockets, making it hard to meet other families. Strangely, one of the biggest causes of this fragmentation is the trees. This is not a natural forest. It's a plantation of row upon row of prized rubber trees. Local workers use a sharp hooked blade to carve zigzags into the trunk, a process known as tapping. This channels liquid latex sap to the base, ready to process into rubber. It's a mainstay of Hainan's economy, producing half of all China's rubber and employing over 2 million people. In the 20th century, 80% of Hainan's natural forests disappeared, and the gibbons lost their home. Numbers crashed from around 2,000 to less than 10. Now farmers are encouraged to grow sustainable alternatives. But any recovery will take time, something the teenage gibbon doesn't have. But there is something the park rangers can do in the meantime to help the teenage male find a mate. Gibbons rarely set foot on solid ground, so gaps in the forest are a problem. Today, the rangers are building a bridge in the trees. It's a treacherous 20-meter climb.
长臂猿只能是从10多米上面才能越过去的，我们只能是架这么高了。
The rope bridge will connect the teenager's habitat with a wider world. But only if he's brave enough to cross it. His mother tests out the bridge. The teenager's future depends on him following her. It's a huge relief for the ranger, who's been working here since the 1980s.
那时候是10多只，通过我们这几10年的保护，我们现在长臂猿数量也不断增加。
It's the first step on the teenager's journey to adulthood. A brave new world of possibilities could open up before him. But he isn't the only forest resident contemplating a new home. This weaver ant is carrying its larva on an important journey. Weaver ants are tree dwellers, so they don't dig nests below ground like other ant species. Building a new home up here requires one of the most extraordinary examples of social cooperation in the animal kingdom. Hundreds of ants draw 4 leaves together to form the basic superstructure. Then multiple chains of up to 12 workers bridge the gaps between the leaves. Powerful mandibles and strong tarsal claws haul the leaves together. But they need a permanent solution to secure the walls. Which is where the larva comes in. It secretes sticky silk, securing the edges of the nest, like a living tube of glue. Numerous larvae are used to build a football-sized nest, which will house the colony's queen. They must slowly guide her to her new home. Extraordinary partnerships like this aren't just confined to Hainan's forests. The island is surrounded by 222 square kilometers of coral reef. It's the foundation of marine biodiversity, making it a rainforest of the sea. This pair of Clark's clownfish inhabit a toxic anemone. The perfect place to raise their young in safety. They are protected from its stingers by a mucus layer on their skin. Their eggs are beginning to hatch. But there will be no surprises when it comes to the sex of their offspring. All clownfish are born male, but can change sex when required. For instance, to breed. Once hatched, the young will drift in the current in the hope of finding their own anemone. A task made harder in recent years. The island is developing rapidly. Around 83 million tourists visit Hainan each year. Now the reef's fragile ecosystem is suffering. But scientists have come up with an ingenious way to help restore it. These plastic trees are the beginnings of a coral nursery. Anchored to the ocean floor, ready to come to life. Marine biologists carefully cut pieces of living coral from healthy reef. Corals have a unique ability to clone themselves. So the living fragments will eventually regenerate into more coral. just as they have in this established nursery. After a year, the regenerated coral can be transplanted to the sea floor, extending the natural reef and helping to repair the damage. So far, more than 14,000 corals have been planted off Hainan. It's a painstaking, costly project, and it is not a cure. Perhaps the reef's future ultimately hinges on the millions drawn to this magical world better understanding its fragility. But for some of the island's wildlife, tourism brings benefits. Around 2,000 macaque monkeys live wild in Hainan. And they've learnt to work the crowds. The babies melt their hearts, while the adults extract to feed. But this little one isn't quite ready for all the excitement. Earning a living can be hard in the tropical heat. But tourism brings another benefit. Macaques are natural swimmers and excellent divers. Plucking up the courage for your first swim is always a little daunting. But sometimes you just have to take the plunge. Away from the coast in the calm of the rainforest, the young male gibbon is also grappling with his fears. Having crossed into new territory, his mother knows he's ready to strike out alone and find himself a mate. It's time for some tough love. Gibbons can reach speeds of 55 kilometers per hour. He tries desperately to keep up. But eventually, she's gone. It's time to embrace a new life. The distant sound of another family catches his attention. He follows the call, carrying with him the hope for survival of the rarest primate on Earth. Restoring Hainan's tropical rainforest will be crucial to all of the rare and unique creatures who share the island. Managing rapid economic growth without damaging the natural world is a challenge, not just in Hainan, but across the world. But the last of the region's national parks may offer a roadmap for sustainability. Thousands of years of man working hand in hand with nature has shaped an ecosystem in Ui Mountain National Park. Formed more than 145 million years ago, the Ui Mountains create a microclimate. They trap wind from the sea, transforming it into misty cloud, providing a moist oasis. prime growing conditions for one of China's most important plants. Tea. Crisscrossing the landscape are 100 square kilometers of plantations, growing some of the finest tea leaves on Earth. Cultivated in this rich volcanic soil for over 1,000 years, Uyi tea rose to become a global phenomenon. By the 17th century, this humble Chinese leaf had conquered the world, accounting for more than 60% of tea drunk across the globe, earning a place in world history. Uyi remains one of the most ancient tea regions on Earth, producing around £214 million worth each year. Yet despite commercial pressures, this industry works hand in hand with biodiversity and conservation. Apart from twice yearly weeding, plantations are largely left to grow naturally. Leaves are hand-picked in early spring, in harmony with the rhythms of the season and the weather. They're still processed using age-old methods. First, moisture is removed using a traditional wood-fueled fire pit. The tea leaves are left to dry in a process known as withering. Microorganisms slowly break down their chemical structure, and it's this stage that gives the final brew its distinctive colour and taste. The leaves are then hand-kneaded, fermented and roasted, until Uyi's world-beating tea is ready to brew. Like 22 generations before him, plantation owner Liang Zhengduo gets to test the finest and freshest tea on Earth, helping the Uyi Mountains earn UNESCO World Natural and Cultural Heritage status, the ultimate endorsement of an industry working in harmony with nature. Not all the creatures who live among the tea plants are welcome, however. A tea leafhopper. These tiny insects suck sap from plants using needle-like feeders. They are pests that can devastate crops. But the tea farmers here don't use chemical pest controls. They prefer to leave the job to nature. This jumping spider can leap up to 50 times its body length. By increasing blood supply to its legs, they extend rapidly and propel it forward. Perfect for pouncing on prey. The leafhopper is lunch. Or it would be if the spider could see it. Despite its 8 eyes, it relies on touch and vibration to hunt. The leafhopper just needs to keep still and hold its nerve. A fatal failure of composure, and lunch is served for this tea farmer's friend. Tea plants belong to the camellia family and grow naturally in the region. They blend into the forested hillsides. These ancient woodlands are home to an extraordinary variety of species, from mole shrews to to millipedes. The forest floor is the domain of a rare species of pheasant. The shy Cabot's tragopan has been given protected status, and this male is keen to increase their numbers. An opportunity presents itself. But she'll expect to be impressed. The best method is to deploy the element of surprise. The female seems unaware of his presence. He prepares for his big reveal. It's showtime. He unleashes his secret weapon. A brightly coloured inflatable skin wattle. The colourful peep show catches her eye. But it will take more than this to charm her. He must work harder. In the murky forest, his vivid wattle dazzles by reflecting the light. Brighter colouring signals better health and fitness. He's putting everything he's got into his flamboyant floor show. She can resist him no longer. Tragopans have a safe sanctuary in the magical mountains of Uyi, as does one of the world's most sought-after and endangered creatures. The Chinese pangolin, one of the rarest species on Earth. This insect-eating prehistoric mammal has walked planet Earth for 80 million years. In Mandarin, pangolin means the animal that can dig through the mountain. Its powerful claws have evolved to tear open termite mounds. A single pangolin can consume 70 million insects a year, helping to keep the ecosystem in balance and earning it the title Guardian of the Forest. Shy nocturnal creatures, they spend most of the day in underground burrows. They protect themselves from predators with a full body armor of razor-sharp scales, formed, like human fingernails, from keratin. But its defense has become its downfall. Pangolins are the most trafficked animal on the planet. They are poached for their scales, which are used in traditional remedies, and for their meat. Since 2000, more than 1 million have been poached from the wild across the world, driving them to the very edge of extinction. Although their scales have officially been banned from use in traditional medicine, it's going to take rigorous enforcement to save this extraordinary creature from extinction. The fact that one of its last natural refuges is here in the Uyi National Park, the centre of a global tea industry, is perhaps the greatest symbol of how, when man works thoughtfully with nature, both can thrive. A Across China's most populated eastern region, space can still be found for the natural world. In these 4 beautiful and diverse national parks, man must meet nature on its own terms, finding harmonious ways to coexist, so the forests can echo with the sounds of one of man's closest living relatives.